Hello, my name is Anonymous. I'm a tour guide in Paris, France, and today we're going to talk about common shocks in France that you would never expect. Coming up next, France. Wine, romance, baguettes, right? Think again. Here are shocking things about France you didn't see coming. No one. They have a cheese museum with a smell warning. Yes, the cheese stinks so bad. There are signs warning tourists at the entrance. Locals, they call it aromatic. You've been warned. Number 2, legal public urinals with no walls. When you gotta go, you gotta go. In Paris, eco urinals sit out in the open. No doors, no shame, just pee and walk. Privacy? Not exactly. Frog legs are real and people love them. When I tell this to my American students, their eyes pop. They always laugh and say, yeah, right. But when they come to France, they'll try them. No joke. They're served in fancy restaurants like this one, and they really do taste like chicken. Number 4, kids can see cigarette ads. While many countries ban tobacco ads completely, in France you'll still see glowing cigarette posters at stores, even near schools. And number 5, the 35-hour work week is the law. Yep. Full-time workers in France legally work only 35 hours per week, and they still get 5 weeks of paid vacation. How? Ask the unions. France, beautiful, yes, but normal? Not even close. Part 2 coming up next. But first, let's do some rapid-fire facts to warm up. Did you know that in France, President Charles de Gaulle once survived an assassination attempt by a teenager armed with a bicycle? Yeah, a bike. Or that French Polynesia is an overseas collectivity of France located in the South Pacific. It consists of 5 islands and has a population of around 275,000 people. And lastly, did you know that the famous French artist Yves Klein, known for his iconic blue color, once had a swimming pool filled with 20 cylinders spool that were 26 tons of his own blue paint? Okay, now let's dive into more shocking facts. Number 6. The French invented the guillotine. That's right. The French invented the machine used for beheading criminals during the French Revolution. Apparently, Dr. Joseph Guillain was a doctor in Paris who wanted to find a more humane way to kill people. Well, he might have thought he was being humane, but it's still pretty crazy. Number 7. Cigarettes are banned in airplanes in France. Yep, smoking is completely banned on all flights departing from France. This includes domestic and international flights. However, it isn't just in the plane. There's also a total ban on selling tobacco products at airports within France. This makes Charles de Gaulle Airport one of the largest airports in the world, a smoke-free zone. Number 8, berets are actually from Brittany. So I get asked this question a lot. Berets, those cool hats that everyone associates with France, especially Paris, where you often see them in movies and TV shows, right? But actually, berets originated in the Brittany region of France. These hats were initially worn by the local people as a practical head covering while working in the fields. They were made from wool and leather and designed to keep the rain and wind off their heads. Over time, the beret became a symbol of French culture and style, particularly associated with artists, intellectuals, and the French resistance during World War II. Nowadays, you'll see people wearing them all over Paris, but especially in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which is a neighborhood in the Latin Quarter known for its cafes, art galleries, and bookstores. So if you want to experience the true essence of a beret, head over to Brittany or to Saint-Germain-des-Prés in Paris. Number 9, baguettes are technically illegal. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? The classic French baguette, that long, crusty, delicious bread that we all associate with French cuisine, well, it turns out it's not quite as simple as just baking one up. In fact, there's a whole legal process behind making a real French baguette. The traditional French baguette is made from just 4 ingredients: flour, water, yeast, and salt. But making it is a carefully guarded secret passed down through generations of bakers. And to be officially labeled as a boulanger, which is the French term for baker, you need to go through years of training and apprenticeship. There are even strict laws about how and when baguettes can be sold. For example, baguettes must be baked fresh every day and sold at a specific weight and size. Oh, and don't forget about the price. The price of a baguette is regulated by the government and set at just $1. And believe me when I say that this is a genuine bargain considering the quality and craftsmanship that goes into every single one. Number 10. More than half of France is rural. Yes, France is known for its bustling cities like Paris, Lyon, and Marseille, but did you know that over 52% of its land area is actually rural? Much of this land is covered in forests, farmlands, and vineyards, giving France its picturesque and often bucolic landscape. This means that despite being home to over 67 million people, much of France feels like an untouched natural paradise. Number 11. Over 12,000 people live in the catacombs of Paris. Now, you may have heard about the catacombs before. It's this underground tunneling maze system where over 6 million people have died. But did you know that people still live there today? That's right! As of the last census in 1999, more than 12,000 people called the catacombs home. The residents, mostly descendants of the original settlers, live in makeshift apartments carved into the tunnel walls. They've created their own communities with basic amenities like electricity and running water. The conditions are far from ideal, but these people have made the catacombs their home. Number 12, Napoleon isn't actually dead. Okay, hear me out on this one. Napoleon Bonaparte, the famous French emperor who lived from 1769 to 1821, is widely believed to be dead. He died on St. Helena in the Atlantic Ocean, right? Well, some people believe that he faked his death and escaped to America. There are plenty of conspiracy theories surrounding Napoleon's death, but no one really knows what happened to him for sure. Some people even claim that he's living somewhere in France under a false identity. Who knows? Maybe he's sipping wine in a small village, watching us all from afar. Number 13. French fries weren't actually invented in France. Sorry, France, but your famous fries didn't actually originate in your country. They came from Belgium. But don't worry, the French have a great sense of humor, and they'll probably just laugh and say, "Oh, c'est la guerre." After all, they're still the ones serving them up with style. Number 14. The Mona Lisa is actually a modern painting. Yep, you heard that right. The world's most famous painting, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, is actually a modern painting. At least that's according to some experts. They say that the painting was actually completed in the early 16th century, which makes it a modern masterpiece. But hey, who are we to argue with the experts? Number 15. France has more Michelin star restaurants than any other country. That's right. France is the home of fine dining and has more Michelin star restaurants than any other country in the world. The Michelin Guide, which rates restaurants on their quality and service, awards stars to the best of the best. And France has more of the best than anyone else. So if you're a foodie, you have to visit France. There you have it. 15 shocking things about France you never expected. Did you learn something new? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow for more epic stories and check out my podcast. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious.